Here's your prophecy update. I'm going to give you an America's National ID, Real ID update today. In 2017, America is getting a national ID. They're slowly implementing it. And as a result of that, there are airport warning signs to alarm travelers that are now showing up in airports. Signs are popping up at many airports, startling confused and dismayed travelers with the warning that a year from now, their driver's licenses or ID cards might be rejected. The signs declare that starting on January 22nd, 2018, if your card is produced by a state which is not compliant with the Real ID's security standards, it will not be accepted to get on the airplane. You will need to present an alternative acceptable form of identification if you intend to board the plane. Well, let's talk about the Real ID compliance and how it's been extended again. When the Real ID Act was signed into law in 2005, who could have imagined that this driver's license security legislation would not be fully implemented until 2020? That's 15 years later. Yet here we are today, 12 years after the Real ID was passed by Congress, and the law continues to generate contention, controversy, and confusion. Also, the federal government's shifting position on the enforcement of deadlines has created an unnecessary level of bewilderment. By the way, if the Department of Homeland Security has already determined that your state is compliant, you will have until October 1st, 2020 to upgrade your card to Real ID standards. But of course, that may change since it's been postponed so many times up till now. The question is the Real ID the beginning of the mark of the beast? Revelation warns about a false Messiah, the Antichrist, who will be given power over all kindreds, tongues, and nations. It's found in Revelation 13:7. The Bible also describes the false prophet who causes all to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Without the mark or the name of the beast, the Antichrist, or the number of his name, no one will be able to buy or sell. Revelation chapter 13, verse 16 through 17 is where this prophecy is found. In practical terms, under Real ID, Americans must have a government number to hold a job and have a bank account. The Mark of the Beast prophecy makes one aspect of the information demanded by the Real ID Act particularly alarming to Bible students. Real ID requires biometric identification. Biometric information is required, which includes fingerprints or eye scans. The Mark of the Beast prophecy states that the mark will be in the hand or the forehead. Revelation 14:9, our fingerprints are in our hands, our eyes are in our forehead. Real ID also requires that the information in each state's database be linked with the databases of other states. Once your information is placed in the federalized database, the federal government can then instantly access your personal information. Real ID would condense all that information into an easily assessed database for the first time. Without your compliant identification card, you won't be able to board an airplane, open a bank account, or access any service that depends on federally approved identification. We will be controlled at that time by a tragically flawed central authority if and when the Real ID is implemented. Well, national IDs such as the Real ID being instituted in almost every country in the world is the ongoing fulfillment of the prophecy of the Mark of the Beast.